chairman of the Public Service Commission, chairpersons of the constitutional commissions and heads of independent offices, vice chair, commissioners of the Public Service Commission, permanent secretaries present, CEOs, heads of various institutions, representatives of various ministries, state departments, and statutory bodies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure today to present an overview of the strategic plan of the Public Service Commission to cover the period 2019 to 2024. Honorable CS, the Commission has a history dating back to 1947, when it was first mooted as a unit rendering services to the public servants who were then serving the colonial government. This history is part of us, and we have captured in the strategic plan. The Public Service Commission, as you all know, is an independent commission established under Article 233 of the Constitution. The current commission, which is the second one under the new Constitution, Constitution 2010, was fully constituted and sworn into office on 17th January 2019. The functions of the commission, as provided in Article 234, basically focuses on the management of human resources in the entire public service. And it's a long list, you can see it on the screen. The other major mandate or function of the Commission is to promote, evaluate, and report to the President and Parliament on the extent to which the values and principles in Articles 10 and Article 232 are complied with in the public service. And for the Commission to realize these mandates, the new Commission has developed this strategic plan, which outlines basically the vision, the mission, the values, key result areas, and strategic actions we'll undertake. Honorable CS, the rationale for developing the strategic plan, first, is to comply with the law, which provides in Section 68(2) of the Public Finance Act that all institutions should actually develop a strategic plan. We also developed the strategic plan because of the need to articulate the new vision and the new strategic direction of the Commission. It also spells out, we needed to spell out our agenda for the next 6 years. And this agenda is outlined, will be outlined in the strategic plan. Honorable CS, the plan we are launching today is the 4th strategic plan to be published by the Commission. The very last one was the one published by our predecessors, which covered the period 2013 to 2018. So our plan, therefore, builds on the very rich past. We try to maintain momentum and growth so that nothing is lost within this institution. Honorable CS, the methodology we approached in developing this strategic plan is fairly straightforward. We did an all-inclusive process where we consulted within the Commission, we consulted all our stakeholders, we reviewed various documents, and generally concretized the ideas through SWOT analysis, PSC analysis. We analyzed our stakeholders. We looked at both internal and external issues, and then came up with a plan you are going to launch today. The findings of this process has enabled the Commission to develop a very clear vision, which we are going to share in a short while. Honorable CS, the vision of the Commission, or before I come to the vision, let me say that the Commission understood a vision to be the long-term position desired to be achieved. It will also serve as a focal point of all efforts in the Commission. And with this, we say that the vision of the Commission is a citizen-centric public service. It is that short. Citizen-centric to us means putting the citizens at the very core of all service delivery initiatives. In this regard, the Commission commits to design all programs and activities in a manner that it gives priority and focus to rendering services to the citizens. The Commission also commits to improve performance, professionalism, productivity in a citizen-centric approach. Honorable CS, the mission of the Commission is to transform the public service for efficient and effective service delivery. Core values. Honorable CS, we understood the core values as the fundamental principles guiding the Commission in all its activities. And in this regard, the Commission chose to focus on 4 core values. We know the list can be long, but CS will focus on 4. The first one is citizen focus. The Commission commits to be responsive, efficient, and effective in responding to the needs of the citizens. Secondly is professionalism, and the Commission commits to adhere to professional standards and values in conducting its affairs. It will observe fidelity to the law, uphold openness, be answerable and take responsibility for actions, and maintain moral, neutral, and ethical principles. Thirdly is on innovation. The Commission commits to embrace and apply new ideas, methods, and technologies in delivery of service. The Commission will also introduce new approaches in the delivery of service to citizens and adopt research and evidence-driven policy processes. The Commission will invest and tap into talents of youth and capture rare skills in retired professionals. Finally, the 4th core value is teamwork. And on this, the Commission commits to high level of cooperation, consultation, cooperation, and respect for divergent views and opinions. The Commission teams will work in a seamless way and deploy skills appropriately to ensure efficient and effective service delivery. Honorable CS, let me move on to strategic goal. The strategic goal for the Commission is to transform the public service for efficient and effective service delivery for national development. And in this regard, the Commission will redefine the public service delivery strategy by placing the citizens at the very center and core of service delivery. The Commission also commits to system-centric approach, which I earlier alluded to service delivery, and ensure that there is prompt, timely, affordable, transparent, and impartial and equitable service to all Kenyans. Key result areas. Honorable CS, the Commission has identified 3 key result areas. And we are doing this so that we maintain focus. The first one will be improvement in public service delivery. And to this, we'll ensure that there is improvement of performance and productivity. Secondly, we'll improve service delivery. Thirdly, we'll promote human resources management, good human resources management practices. The second key result area is on ethical and value-based public service, and will promote constitutionalism, values, and principles, which are properly articulated in Article 10 and Article 232. The third key result area is on enhanced capacity of the Commission to deliver on its mandate. And we purpose to build a very strong internal capacity for the Commission and also for the MDS. Implementation strategy. Honorable CS, in order to realize the vision, the Commission will implement the strategy by, one, undertaking citizen service satisfaction, or rather do citizen satisfaction surveys. We'll also set service delivery standards and provide productivity measurements. 3, we'll provide strategic policy directions and guidelines for implementing the strategy. We'll also establish a contact center for instant citizen feedback at the Commission. Finally, the Commission will establish progress in service improvement strategy. Honorable CS, the priority areas of focus in the strategic plan are basically 5. We have identified 5 for these purposes. 1 is on performance management, and the Commission commits to establish performance levels in all the MDS. Secondly, we'll develop and implement performance management regulations in the entire public service. Thirdly, we'll review and implement a policy framework for performance management. Fourthly, the Commission will undertake business processes review in all the MDS to ensure service delivery improvement. Finally, under performance management, the Commission will implement performance-based reward and sanctions systems. The other priority area, Honorable CS, is on productivity management, and on this, the Commission commits to develop and implement a productivity measurement framework for the entire public service to ensure effective use of resources and a fit-for-purpose institutions. Thirdly, on internship opportunities, which the Commission has purposed to focus, the Commission commits to collaborate with both the private and the public sector to expand the internship opportunities to young graduates. The Commission will also implement a mentoring and coaching program to inculcate positive work ethics amongst the youth in order to enable them to exploit their potential and gain experience and skills for meaningful economic engagement. Fourthly, Honorable CS, is on voluntarism. And at the Commission, we understand voluntarism to refer to the intrinsic motivation to render services to society based on the skills, knowledge, experience, and willingness to give back to society and the community at large. So the Commission will promote a culture of volunteerism in the public service. The volunteer program will complement skills and competencies existing in the public service. Number 5, priority area is on equity in employment. And we want to say that the Commission commits to ensure that the public service represents the diversity of the Kenyan people through implementation of a diversity management policy. In addition, professionalism, meritocracy will be observed in all recruitments and appointments to the public service. Priority number 6 will be on collaboration, cooperation, and partnerships. Honorable CS, the Commission commits to collaborate, and partner with key stakeholders in policy formulation, identification of programs for partnerships. And the Commission will also collaborate with development partners in identifying and implementing joint programs to strengthen the capacity of the public service. Honorable CS, the success of this strategic plan depends on several factors, but we have identified 2 of them, or about 4 of them. One is a strong organizational structure, and we have put across the organization structure which we have proposed, or rather which we'll be using at the Commission. Secondly, we intend to optimize on staffing levels so that we are able to deliver on this strategic plan. The Commission has also assigned responsibilities virtually to everybody, starting with the chairman, the commissioners, the CEO, and the entire secretariat. And the Commission has also identified other key success factors which are outside the Commission, and this includes collaboration with the stakeholders, effective performance management system in the MDS, effective communication and branding strategy. We need teamwork across the public service. We need also to have a positive culture and good work ethics. And finally, Honorable CS, we need adequate resources. And we have purposely posted our projected financial requirements for this strategic plan. And Honorable CS, you'll agree with us that a very strong financial backing from both the Treasury and other partners is paramount for delivery of this strategic plan. And we are urging all our partners, particularly the Treasury, to support the implementation of this strategic plan. You will notice that there are gaps, and we are very alive to that, and we are working on a strategy of mobilizing resources to ensure that those funding gaps are properly reduced. We also have a monitoring and evaluation and reporting framework, and Honorable CS, the Commission commits to develop a result-based monitoring framework where we'll provide a feedback on the effectiveness of implementation of projects and programs in the public service. The framework sets out the objectives of monitoring and evaluation, methods of collecting data, and processing and reporting so that the Kenyan people can know how their public service is performing. And these reports will be published and publicized widely in accordance with the requirements of the Constitution and the Public Service Commission strategy. Honorable CS, I think I have finished, but let me say this. In a nutshell, you'll have noted that we have gone around the citizens. Everything we propose in this strategic plan places the citizens in the center as the principal beneficiary. And this is the desire of the Commission, to ensure that all the public institutions put the citizen on the center. That's why we are saying our vision is a citizen-centric public service. Finally, the strategic plan captures the desires of the Commission, of which is to transform the public service as we are guided by our new rallying call of reform, perform, and transform. Thank you very much.